All right. Hello, everyone. It's Lamar and Joe, and this is the Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 19. And we are looking at the film Bad Taste from
Bad
1987.
taste.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And this is
So
actually an important movie
it is.
in a way for film history. Because you see, just to get into it, Peter Jackson, who's famous for Lord of the Rings, of course,
Yes.
is his first feature film, I think.
I think so. And yeah, I think it's his first feature. And I have some information, some added information.
Do
This
it.
was supposed to be just like a short film
Mm.
with like a $25,000 budget. And
Oh, wow.
apparently, this is provided by Wikipedia, it's supposed to be 20 minutes. They shot it over 4 years. Yeah, and it was in his old hometown. And it ended up having like a budget of like, I think like $200,000. So it extended, into an actual film itself. So that was pretty interesting. But yeah, Peter
Yeah.
Jackson's first feature film.
He did a lot of the effects himself. He acted in it.
Yes, he directed it, produced it.
Yeah.
He was the cinematographer. He edited it,
Wow.
and like you said, he did the effects. I think some information is saying like the guns that they had in this movie, they had to shake them because they were made out of like wooden stuff, and
That's
so they
funny.
had no recoil, so they have to.
Right.
And I think they also had to like do some of the effects, like the baking of the mask in his mother's home.
Yeah, I did see that too. Yeah. So to get into the movie just real quick, because probably a lot of people know about it by now.
Hmm.
They discover that like there's people on an island and they're just missing.
Yeah,
So kind of like I don't know if they were affiliated with the military or if they were more like a militia of some kind. It was
the
four
Ash.
guys,
Yeah, they're the Astro Investigation and Defense Service,
which is
AIDS.
funny. AIDS. Which reminds me of trauma wars. Remember the AIDS brigade?
They didn't have AIDS in this
Yeah.
movie. It's just a coincidence.
Is it a
That's
coincidence or
all.
is it to be a joke?
Maybe it's just a joke,
Just a
probably, but
joke.
yeah, it's a joke. But they didn't go as far as Trauma did with
Yeah.
this,
The AIDS
so
brigade.
that's good. But yeah, but they're the organization called AIDS.
Yeah. So these basically just four guys. They go to
Yeah.
investigate what's happening to these people and they find out that aliens have come to Earth to this island to harvest humans for fast food franchises on their planet,
Yes.
which is a funny kind of gimmick too.
Yeah, because they look like regular people, but they have like just regular blue costumes.
Yeah.
Like they're just like guys just running around doing weird shit.
And at one point, the thing that made me laugh the most, at one point, some guy was he getting into like a car wreck
Yes.
and it splits his head open.
We got to talk about that scene because you think the character dies, and isn't
Yeah.
that character played by Peter Jackson?
Is that him?
I think so because in this movie he stars in it.
Yeah.
He didn't have enough responsibility from all the things he was doing,
Yeah.
but some way he even like choreographed where he was having a fight scene with himself in this
Mm.
movie. So
Yeah.
so with that character, something happens to his head. He like falls down or something, like you said, and he ties a belt
A
around his
belt.
head to hold his brain in.
It's like he's like keeping everything tucked in there and everything.
Yeah, and
Which is
periodically
funny.
it came a loose.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I just found that funny.
That was hilarious. That was very strange because I was like, "Oh man, that guy's dead." He's like, "Nope, nope, I'm
Yeah,
good."
they end up at a house where the aliens are,
Hmm.
and it's like you can see how they're like, you see their true form, their non-human form, which is we got to talk about that because
Yes,
the makeup effects in this is pretty cool, I think.
yeah, for
You
the
know,
budget they had. Yeah,
for the budget they have, for sure, it was actually really, really cool. And they kind of see like the goop that they make people into, and that's like their fast food.
it's like a
And
green soup.
yeah, and then one guy, did he go like undercover to pretend to be one of them? And then he had to try to like drink it, but it made him sick or something.
I think he kind of liked it, and then it made him sick. He was like, ugh. Like it was a good part to me. It was funny, but just because they're just passing around this big bowl of crap while this guy is talking like the head guy,
Yeah.
like he's like the boss or whatever or anything like that. So that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually it just turns into a gunfight between our heroes and the aliens. So they're shooting up everything. And
Yeah, it goes from like X-Files to like Predator, Rambo, and
yeah.
it's just everybody's just getting shot up and blown up. And oh, the house,
Yeah, the house. The house was actually a spaceship. It looked
the
like a
house,
house.
the house becomes a spaceship, and the effects, low budget, they pulled it off. Like it folds and
Yeah.
everything like that, and it shoots off because one of the characters finally gets in and kills the leader. Right?
Yep.
He
Well,
does like a what happens
later on,
later on.
after
Yeah,
the house takes off,
yes.
and the leader of the aliens doesn't know the guy's there.
Yes.
I think he was dressed like an alien, right? And then he kills the leader, and then he's like, I'm just going to go to their planet. I'm coming for you, or something.
I'm killing you bastards or something. He does like a freaking nosedive with the chainsaw
Yeah.
into the alien. Great effect.
Yeah, that was cool.
And he wears his skin and he goes to the planet.
Right.
Killing everyone. Trying to kill
everybody. How much it ends. Which
and
could have been a cool sequel to see this guy on their planet.
Just going around. Because he's he's already had his brain knocked out of his head. He's kind of crazy. But yeah, it would have been a good, like, nice little sequel. So
yeah, it would have been. So, yeah, I mean, that pretty much runs the movie down. It's a simple movie.
Yeah, it's not. Comparing it to Lord of the Rings, it's not very detailed of, like, what's going on here. It's just like aliens are eating people. Somebody wants to know. Shootout happens.
Yeah, I remember... I might have seen the movie years ago when I was a kid, but I used to remember seeing the box cover in the video stores with the alien.
Yes, flicking off.
Yeah, I remember that. My rating of it, I think it's a 5 out of 5. I think I've seen it a second time now, and I think it's a 5 out of 5 for a couple of reasons. It's a fun B movie. Yes. They did the most that they could with what they had available to them.
Yeah.
And the big takeaway is you're seeing Peter Jackson, like the early version of his skill level as a director.
The sweeping shots.
Yeah, you do see similar shots in this movie that you do see in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
Some angles and stuff that he likes to shoot. So, yeah, for me, 5 out of 5. I think it's a must-see, not only for B-movie fans, but for fans of cinema.
Yeah, I would say it's like a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Just because if it had maybe a clearer story, but that's it. Yeah. I think that this movie, like you said, you see the beginnings of Peter Jackson, and then it's a good movie all around. It's just a feel-good movie. Yeah. But if you want to see how to shoot a movie with no budget, there's a lot of things that they do. Like we talked about the guns and stuff like that, the certain angles that they used. Mm-hmm. How the set design, they all had the same clothing and all that kind of stuff. And if you want to have like a micro budget film or something like that, watch this. Like a lot of people have seen this movie. Mm-hmm. They probably are like, oh man, that's Peter Jackson. That's what really, catapulted what he was doing, like his style and all that kind of stuff.
I wonder if all these years later, if he would make a sequel for it or a remake, if he can do it. Not someone else, It
would be interesting to see because right now we're stuck in everything is either a superhero movie or some type of reboot.
Right.
But it's like a superhero franchise or a reboot that's PG-13.
Yeah.
This movie is not PG-13. It pushes some boundaries. It might do like I would say if like Netflix would do it, like give them a budget like $80 million and see what could happen.
Right.
Because, like, the idea is there. I think it could work.
If he was to make this movie now, he could do awesome stuff, really.
Yes.
And it's his work, so he's not going to mess up his own thing.
No. He'll only make it better.
Yeah. So I think it would be pretty cool to see a remake or a sequel.
A soft reboot of bad taste, because that's what they do now.
Yeah.
It's a soft reboot. It's not a sequel, but it's the same exact story.
Same, yeah. Yeah, Bad Taste.
Bad Taste 2, but not really, though.
Yeah.
That's what they would call it, because it's like,
Bad taste.
We don't want to catch
worst
you up.
taste.
Ooh. Are you listening, Peter Jackson? Worst taste.
Worst taste.
This is a worse taste than what had happened.
So we mentioned the box cover. You cannot have that box cover, I don't think, anymore.
That's the problem. Like right now. Yeah, because it has a big, chubby alien flicking off the audience with the AK-47.
Yeah, that's not happening today.
No.
So, and that box cover, when you see it, you go, "Oh, what is this?" I got.
Yeah, it grabs you in, because
it does grab you.
When you first told me about this, I was like, I thought it was going to be some other type of movie, but then when you see that, you're like, what?
So, yeah, man, Bad Taste.
Yes.
Go see it, suckers.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie. 100%. Cool. Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 19. Bad Taste. Peace.
Deuces.